are another video, and you can see here I've been shopping into the store. It's Tuesday, week 12, so this is 105 days to heaven, 15 weeks total, and this is the period of week 11 to 15, but this is week 12. There was some stuff happening in Sweden last week that kind of didn't make me feel good, kind of personal, but it's what it is. But it's really good, I think, to have some things to focus on, like my power walks, my training in the gym, which I've been doing both today, by the way. And yeah, so that was good. So now it's week 11 through 15, as I said, and so that means we are doing a bit of a shred again. So we were upping the calories a little bit last period, week 8 through 10. After doing this, so it was 1 and 2, and then 3 to 7 was a shred. 8 to 10, a little bit more calories, and now 11 to 15, it's a shred again. And so I'm going to also do different things, or I am doing different things in the gym now. So it's a 3-day split. I'll show you that when I get back to the apartment, what it's like. And again, when you are going to the gym, if you're training more than twice per week, I think you should be doing splits. If you are training 3 days or more, you should be doing splits. 2 days a week you can do full body workout. And yeah, I'm doing a lot of training now. It's hard. Also, I wanted to get into this thing, what kind of results everyone gets from doing 105 days to heaven. And obviously you can go do the program as designed from the beginning, and you will lose a ton of weight, you will have good energy, and you will learn a lot about what to do. Everyone gets the afterlife. So that's one thing, the afterlife program, where because you're not gonna weigh your food for the rest of your life, right? That's gonna be ridiculous. So, and you won't have to once you're done with this. So you're gonna learn, and then the afterlife program, you will see it's really good for how to live after these 15 weeks, 105 days, and yeah. So it's let's see. Yeah, so it's a different thing for everyone, I would say. Even though a lot of people just want to lose weight and get healthier and get a little bit stronger, you can have an injury that you want to get out of. For me, it was. I wasn't really like super overweight. I wasn't obese or anything, obviously. I would say that I wasn't really overweight at all. For if you see a normal kind of standard, but I did get up, as you saw in the first video. When I weighed myself, I was 83.3 kilos, which is 83.3 kgs is a lot for me. I haven't been that before, so I ate a lot before this just to have more weight to lose, and that's something something new for me. I've lost a ton of that weight. Last time I was 75.5. So I lost a bit of weight, but I've also gained some weight, I would say, muscles. For me, it was, I wanted to lose some weight, and I gained that weight to have some more to lose, but I also wanted to get a lot stronger, because I hadn't done gym for a long time, just running. And now I haven't done that much running. I've done 3 runs. I wasn't gonna do any, but I had that first ultra distance run with my friend. I had what was that first? Maybe it was, no, it wasn't. It was the second one. The first one was the ultra marathon with Julia, the other coach, and then my friend, we did an ultra distance, 48K together, went up with the commuter train, and then ran back to Stockholm. And yeah, and then I had that run on week 8 through 10. Week 9 there, the middle week is a cardio week. So I did a run there and a lot of biking, but a lot of kilometers. And so for me, this was I wanted to lose some of that weight that I put on, the fat that I put on, but I also wanted to gain like lean muscle mass. So I think I've gained at least a couple of kilos. So that's a good goal. So we'll see how. And I'm not looking to have like one of the guys that he wanted to look like kind of like Rocky in Rocky 3, I think it is. Then when Rocky is like 4% body fat, and he got down to, I think, if I remember correctly, 4.3% body fat, and put on some muscle also. So he looked great, but that's how he wanted to look. I don't want to go that far. So I'm doing more calories than the original program, but everyone does a different thing. So we have the original program, and then we go from your personal, what you need, what your goals are, how you're feeling. Do we need to add something, take something away, like this? So, okay, so when I get back home, I will show you the splits for this week, or these 5 weeks, and what I'm doing in the gym. Okay, so as you can see here, this is week 11 through 15. We are right now, obviously, and it's every movement is different this time. We're doing every movement 50% concentric and 50 eccentric. So 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, which means that, like if you're doing a bicep curl, you're going the same amount of time up as you're going back down. This means that it's not the faster concentric and the eccentric slower as it usually is. Also, this is new. The new thing here is that we're doing all the exercises for 7 minutes, as many as you can do. So let's say that you do 7 repetitions, and then you, as it says, you rest, you shake the body loose a little bit, you know, and as fast as possible, and then you go again and you do that for 7 minutes. Now, what can happen here is that you feel like, okay, I'm doing 7 minutes, 7 repetitions, and then after a while you do it as fast as you can, you rest and as fast as you can between. And then you can feel after a while that you're getting tired and you feel, I want to rest a little bit more. But you don't want to go get lactic acid, but don't wait for too long, because if you're resting for like 10 seconds or if you're resting for a minute, it's not really going to help you that much if you just keep going for 7 minutes. So it's better to do a little bit shorter rest, and then you do the next 7. So this means that every session will take 7 minutes times 11 exercises is 77 minutes, plus the time it takes you to switch between the exercises. So it can be a good idea to kind of know what you're doing when you're going into the gym, how you set up everything and like this. Also, as it says here, it's a good idea to have some lighter weights that are close, so you can lower the weight when you get tired. So because after, whatever the weight you're using for the first sets, you're not going to be able to do 7 repetitions of those weights at the end unless you start way too light on the weights. So you're going to get more and more tired, and you're going to be able to do less and less weight, obviously. And if you're doing, as I say, like the body weight things like the wheel or the squats with body weight, you can do more. So with these, you do as many as you can before you pause to rest or shake loose. So you see here, this is what we're doing. We're doing biceps, triceps, and shoulders on the first set. You click on the exercise, you get a video, you get a detailed explanation. We do the session 2 is legs and chest, and the third one is back and abs. So these are the how we split everything for weeks 11 through 15. And I've started this, and it's tough. It is tough because it's when you're doing everything 7 times like this, it's you're going to feel it. So let's go. This is just the final push, last 5 weeks. It's been a while since that video in Mexico. I'm now in beautiful Malta by the Mediterranean Sea. And the reason for this is I wanted to have a 105 days to heaven participant and completer with me on this in this video, and now I did, and I wanted a woman, and I have now my favorite woman, Erika, who is with me in this business, and she started doing this the 105 the same time as I did. We spent like the last 5 days together. And so we recorded last night a conversation that I will give you here in just a moment. And after that I'll also give you my before and after pictures, and my before and after weight, my height and everything. Well, the height didn't change though, but yeah, you know what I mean. So let's get into that, shall we? I want to thank you, Erika, for being with me.
Hey, you're welcome. My pleasure.
And so I was thinking I'd just give, like, people who've seen, like, are in this video now, they basically know, but I just wanted to give like a quick like a recap first how this started. And it was that one of my friends, Matthias, he was very overweight and he had a bum knee, and he wanted to do a sub 4:30 marathon, and he wanted to lose a bunch of weight. And he came to me and he asked me, because he knows I'm a personal trainer in this, and he asked me like how to do this, and he has seen some programs that were extremely expensive, and they were not so set up to be personal. And so I told him, like, don't do this. And because we're very close friends, this is 5 years ago, I think now, 4 or 5 years ago. And he told me, yeah, I want to do this. Said, okay, listen, this is a good thing for me too. I'll do this for you. You don't have to pay me, because this is like, so then I can build a program myself, because I've been, and you're my guinea pig. And the only thing you
When
give
was
me
this?
is the,
Tell everyone, Thomas, what month and what year was this on? Do you remember?
oh no, it was 22. It was, I think it was September 2020.
September 2020, right? Like
So it
right on
was
the
pandemic,
pandemic
and
year.
so he wanted to do this, and I will cut in here and cut in and show later and show his pictures, his before and after. So what it started with, so he did this. He needed to lose a bunch of weight, and he did. So he lost 33.5 kilos, and and that's a lot, because he's like my height, about 178 or this. So he weighed like 120 something, and he wanted to do that, and he ran a 4:26 marathon after this, and his knee was good. So that was good. And then my other friend, who's a tennis coach, since I've been working as a tennis coach, he also wanted to do it. And the good thing about this, so, is that it would have been better if it was a man and a woman, but now it was two men, and they had totally different starting points. And so I took kind of the first guy, who was really, really big. I took his Matthias. I took his program, and I gave it also to the second guy, Jonathan,
You
and he did
left
it
it
also.
exactly the same, or did you do some tweaking around?
No, so what I did was, and this is what we've been doing now, right? For this, because you are my partner in this program, and this whole program,
That's it.
105 Days to Heaven. And what we're doing now is I gave him the same one, but the thing is not just to get the program. The thing is to have coaching throughout the program and make the changes that you need. And so we start off with the same one, and the first 2 weeks are kind of a startup in the gym, start up with all the training, with the power walks, with everything, and with the recipes, because you get everything. This is a comprehensive program. You get everything. You get like what to do, when to do with what to eat, when to eat it, the recipes, exact, by the gram, how much to eat, and everything. So you don't really have to think; you just have to follow it. And then you have a close communication with your coach, and we make changes. So the one guy, and we can cut in here, and I can cut in here and give the pictures. But so these guys, the one guy, obviously, as people will have seen now on the picture, he was really big and needed to lose weight. The other guy was not really big. He was just not. He had some weight to lose, but he wanted to get shredded, and he did. He got down to 4% body fat,
And you can tell
and
this is where you're going to show the pictures. I think this is where you
yeah,
show the pictures.
yeah, yes. So yeah, so that was the difference between them, and so it worked for both of them, even though they had such really, really different starting points. So when I was going to do this, I asked you, you want to do it too. So we did it. We didn't do it together, but we started at the same time. And I think
Yeah,
how many days? Like we physically, I saw you for 5 days or something
the
through
last
this
five.
thing. Yeah, but so I went to, like, for me, the expectations and my goals going into this were, I didn't want to get 4% body fat. What I did want was, so I gained weight beforehand. I gained weight, so I weighed over 83 kilos, which is much more than I mean, it's like 5-6 kilos more than I have been at my heaviest before. And I did that just because I wanted to feel lethargic and just feel bad. So and feel heavier. And I did. So then I lost 10.5 kilos, I think 12.5 kilos in fat, and I got 2 kilos up in muscle. But I knew kind of how I work, how my physicality, how my brain works. And I mean, I am the coach. I designed the program. So
Huh?
I had those kind of, because I'm also doing an ultra biking running thing now, so I didn't want to get too lean. So I actually sometimes I would have, and this is what we do. We have a periodic fasting like this, but it's everything is personalized. So for me, it was having a couple of hard-boiled eggs in the morning, sometimes having an extra protein shake, and like yeah. So, but I knew kind of what I was getting into. So now I have been babbling enough, and I want to ask you, what were your expectations, like how the program was going to be and everything, and what were your goals for you to going into this?
Well, my personal goals were to become stronger. Like, I don't have a fixed routine because of my work and what I do. And I tend to eat out a lot because I used to travel more than I do so now. But when we started the program, I did. And I think that my expectations were to get a little more control over my my intakes, no, my food, the quality of the food, et cetera, et cetera. Even though I do think I do consider myself as a person who looks after herself and chooses out of a menu the most nutritious items, I guess.
Mhm.
I wasn't good at fasting. I can confess that right now. I love food, so I like to eat. I'm like a muncher. I like to eat in small portions, but throughout the day. So that was a challenge. And my
But
expectations were
can I ask
basically
you,
that. Hmm.
sorry, can I ask you with that, what was the hardest part? Was it not having breakfast,
For
or
me, it was not
yeah,
having breakfast because I was used to making a fresh fruit smoothie early in the morning before I worked out before, which I
yeah,
didn't do so regularly either because again of the traveling. But doing that, like exchanging that for the ginger shot was a challenge because fruit is
yeah,
sugar.
yeah, of course, and you get that high from it. But what we should say though, for both of us, I mean, we met like 25 years ago.
25.
So obviously you were two. No, but
I was
and I
I
was,
was young.
but yeah. So, but when we met at tennis. We played tennis in the same team in college, and so and still we're both people who are fit. I don't think we've ever either of us have been fat or like super out of shape. But so
Not
we
super
kind of
out
had
of
this.
shape, but both of us, well, not you because you have never lost that, right? Like the discipline of working out regularly. But I'm a mother. So when I became a mother, my first time, I did have to focus more on raising the baby because I was totally unaware of how to do that. So I slowed down. I eased back on the exercise, on the regular exercise, and I did put on a lot of weight. Well, not a lot of weight, but I did put on some weight.
Okay. So and you had three kids,
I do have
and
three kids.
you're still super fit. I have had surprise zero kids. I didn't have to give birth even once. So that's obviously easier. But you did great, I must say, for this challenge. It was amazing to see how you did. Like you looked amazing when I saw you. I was like, whoa. You looked good before too, but now you're like even better. It's like, oh
I
my
have
goodness,
more
like I can't.
definition, more muscle definition because before it was easier for me to like, I'm hungry and I don't know when I'm going to have my next meal because my flight doesn't leave until now and they're not going to pick me up until such and such hour. So I would just grab
Yeah,
anything from a store, right? And
yeah,
now, well, we had like a little schedule and I knew what was going to be in the menu for my next meal. So I held on and that helped a lot to decrease the body fat that I didn't have much of, but still. And so with the exercise and the resistance
the
bands,
exercise.
the exercise, I got a lot more definition in my arms and my back.
Yeah,
And it was quite visible because the people that I usually work with or interact with for the deals that I do were surprised. So I
that's
was
good.
quite pleased with the results.
That's good. But so that was how would you say that it went with all the, because I know that you work hard and you have your own companies and in everything like this. How was it that was how were you able to do everything? Like was it hard to fit in? Because I'm like a big kid. I always do like what I feel like, and I just I don't have no one else to take care of. So for me, it's easier to get training in. But how was that for you to get the workouts like power walks and gym and everything? Was it
Well,
hard to?
It wasn't hard per se. It was a bit challenging, but I consider myself to be very disciplined. We have three dogs too, so the power walks were no problem because now I
Ah, of
get to give
course.
them a treat, right? So I took them
Yeah.
out for a walk and they enjoyed that a lot. And now they're on the schedule. They're like, ah, they bark when they see me come back in the evening and they're ready for the power walks.
Oh, yeah.
And working out in the gym actually helped me get a little bit more organized with my schedule for my other activities. So I think the hard part for me, Thomas, was the shopping because I do have a
Yeah.
teenager still at home. And at the
Mhm.
beginning, I was trying to do double lists, but then I just pulled her along. And I would, I would, I would show the shopping list to her and add whatever you want me to buy. So she would complement whatever
Yeah.
I wasn't cooking. So she would do for herself.
Okay.
That was more challenging.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that from some people that but they usually after a while when they get into it, they do like they do the food for
Week.
for the entire week,
Hmm.
and then did you do anything with that? Because I know some people. Because what I did was I had two meals that I was like doing. I would say 90% of the time. Did you do something like this? Because people find their, and this is also the thing. Like I don't feel like it's good to be rigid because some of these kind of programs is like you're supposed to have this meal at this day, and then the next day you're supposed to have that meal. I think that it's better like what we're doing. Like you have a lot of meals to
Definitely.
choose from, and
There's
also
flexibility. Hmm.
you said you went for your power walks in the evening.
Hmm.
Whereas
Hmm.
most programs are like, oh, you're supposed to do power walk in the morning, and then you can't change it, which for me is insane. It's not like, first of all, we have a life that we have to work around, and second of all, why would it matter if you have a power walk in the morning or in the evening? This thing with like doing fasted cardio and stuff, that was something, like, I don't know, 15 years ago. There was but it's just like it doesn't help you necessarily. But for the what was I thinking? Yeah, with the food, did you do that? Did you do like a couple of things, or did you
I
mix it
did.
up?
You can do the portions. The hardest part for me was weighing. So what I would do is use tiny containers and Ziploc bags because I'm not that big. So the portions that I needed to consume, I would prepare in advance. And I would do my shopping once a week. And whatever could be kept in the freezer or the fridge, pre-arranged, I would do so. Yeah, definitely. Well, I have to do that because I have a quite busy schedule.
Yeah, so for me, what I did was I had at home because I was working from home then, and so I would do like a big bowl of food, and I would make sure that for the next 10 meals, like Monday to Friday, lunch and dinner, I would have the same thing at 1 week, for instance, and so I would just have a big bowl in the fridge with this, and I calculated. So for the 10 meals, it was the right amount with everything. Like I weighed it with my scale. I was really, like I've never been this serious ever in my life with anything. And and so I did that. But then I would eat and I would just wing it because over the week I would get the amount that I was supposed to. So it's about 7,000 calories to lose a kilo of fat. And so it's not what you do one day or anything. It's like, it's over time. So that's how so you can do it different ways with that.
Hmm.
And that's also why it's good to have a coach that helps you and you have someone always to guide you. So what did you think, anything more on during the program? Because I also want to ask you how you felt about your results and yeah, and also after what you've been up to after,
During the
like with
program, I did remember that I texted you because I was still feeling hungry in between meals.
yeah,
And you said that it was okay to have some cashews or pecans. I had a lot of nuts. So I incorporated that into my meals. And I also started adding more to the salads and such. And that helped a lot.
yeah,
During.
yeah,
Traveling was a challenge, but after a while, you can know visually how much, like a portion of couscous is the equivalent in grams.
yeah.
It becomes easier as you go throughout. And I'm very pleased with my results because I'm stronger. I can do a headstand in yoga.
Oof, that's pretty good. I mean that's really good. I think that with the food, I think this is something that even though you're not thinking about it, as long as you're just following along, even if you don't actively think about it, you will learn.
Hmm.
Like after a while, you just know how much is what, and you kind of get a feeling for it. But afterward, because we have the afterlife, where I don't want to give away too much, but it's about basically that you have a certain amount of meals over a certain amount of days, where you have some of the meals we have a treat meal. So
Yay!
we don't say cheat meal, right? It's a treat meal because you're treating yourself. And also we don't have that day that you go, because some people have, okay, we go Monday to Saturday, we just go and we're like super strict, and then one day I eat everything that I can. And for me,
It
that's not,
backfires.
yes, it's better to try to be on point all the time. And then for a certain amount of times, like we have in the program for the afterlife, you can if you want to go out and have drinks with your friends, or you want to go to a restaurant and have a tiramisu, or
That was
I know
also
that
hard because I love wine.
yes, I know you told me that, like, no, no, no wine. So it's
I was
like,
like, Coach,
yeah.
when can I
So
have my wine? Not until
and
when
the
was it?
reason for well, the reason for that we do this, if some, because I know that I've been asked about this before. The reason that we do this, that we're super strict for the 105 days, and then afterwards we have a certain amount of treat meals over a certain period of time. That's because it's like with everything. It doesn't matter if you're a sports person doing elite sports, or if you're doing gym, or if you're doing food, whatever it is. It's that it's easier to keep something than it is to
Yeah,
get there.
definitely.
So once you're there, then when it's maintenance and it's having a good having good routines and having a good lifestyle and to keep looking good, then it's
It's
a good, then
easier.
you can do that. Yeah, but if you do it during the program, you're not going to really get the same results as you would if you were more strict. So once people, and I think the, oh, I have to ask you this also. Within the 105 days,
Uh-huh.
I know that a lot of people have had so they think it's really tough, and it's like, oh, they're lightheaded or something. Then we do something more, maybe a more shake, fruit,
Protein.
nuts,
Hmm.
something. Yeah, but they also feel that it's tough with the food in the beginning, like maybe skip, like not having breakfast, and like you said, changing maybe a smoothie for ginger shot. And the food is like, you don't get all the sugar that you might be getting, and you're not snacking of what that you used to. Like that's how many people say. But then it's for everyone has done this, almost. Like some people don't. Like, let's be honest, like every sixth person, they don't follow through because it's not for them, but 5 out of 6 do. So
Hmm.
what they say, everyone that follow through, is like usually it's hard in the beginning, and at some point they get into it, then it's not hard anymore.
Exactly. Like
Did,
getting used to not having my sugary, well, not sugary, but fruity smoothie in the morning, exchanging it
yeah.
for the shot. It became a regular habit, and now I can have it at noon, and it's no problem.
Did you have any after you got used to that, did you have any dips or highs? Because for me, this is a little bit like doing ultra marathons. Like you're doing an ultra marathon and you're running along, you're feeling good, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and you just, something hurts, and it's like, oh, it's hurting for 4 kilometers, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And then all of a sudden you feel super good, and then you feel down. I wouldn't say that it was like a roller coaster with the 105 for me as an ultra marathon, but I had a little bit of a dip also, where I
Uh-huh.
felt like, oh my goodness, and it's like, you know, it got a bit tedious, but then I got out of it and that was fine. I had one dip after I got used to it. Did you have anything like this, like dips or highs?
I had only one dip and no highs, I don't think. Mm-mm. Only one dip,
No highs?
like around the 12th day, I guess, close to the second week of having started the program. I was feeling like with low body, but I don't know. It might have been stress too, Thomas. I don't know. That's why I texted
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is something that is very important. I know that when I did my personal, because I've been working as a personal trainer for a long time, but when I did the actual, certification, because I was just working with tennis players and stuff, and I had to do all the nutrition and everything. So when I got my personal trainer certification and the nutrition consultant certification and things like this, it was in 2014, early 2014. So it's 10 years, a little more like 10 and a half years now. And I remember they were speaking about this, that nowadays, they said then, the differences between before was like, before it's like, okay, you're doing your training, that's one thing, and then what you're doing in life is another thing. But nowadays we know that that it's like having a glass, and then you fill it up with, if you take some, you fill up with some training, you fill up your stress glass with some, having all of this do at work, and then you fill it up with some, having to run and take care of your kids, and if the glass is too full, then sometimes you have to scale down, maybe on your training, maybe do something different, and that's also where the coaching comes in. So did you ever feel that you had to go away from, like, okay, I cannot, I have to take a few days that I don't do any training, I don't do this because of other things? Because I know you're super busy.
It was tempting. I like to work out in the morning. So there were days where my battery was low, and before the 105, I knew I would get a shot of green juice with sugar and fruit. Now it was like, well, all you get is a shot and you still have to go work it out. I guess it was just me pushing myself to do that. And I do have to make some rearranging here and there, Thomas, but I was really, really focused. I wanted to see the results. I wanted to see what would happen if I followed through for the 105. And even though I did have fallbacks, you were there. You're like, no, 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 it's okay. You can substitute this for that, or you can have a little bit more of
Yeah.
this, and I guess that was the secret, having that assessing or direction. So yeah.
Yeah, and I was skeptic, like when I saw you at the end there, if I could like walk next to you on the street, because I would look like I would look even worse. Like I'm not like Brad Pitt, but I would look. It's like I'm gonna look so bad walking next to this girl. This is not gonna be, because you look
Hey,
so good. I'm like, wow.
remember when we worked out for those last 5 days that you gave me your
Yeah,
stare because I picked up like dumbbells that look too heavy for me, and you were like,
yeah,
"Are you sure you want to use those? Because we
yeah,
have to do 15 repetitions." I was like, "What the hell?" Yes, sir,
yeah.
I can. So very
I was,
pleased with the
but I was
results.
thinking like she's little. She is, she's just not that tall. Like she's a snack sized. Should she really, and you just did it. It's like you were so strong. Yeah, I underestimated you. Never underestimate you. That's the lesson here for me.
Exactly.
Okay, so I mean, I guess this is kind of what I want to talk about. Do you have anything else to add about the 105 in?
Well, I think that the only thing that I would like to tell people who might be interested in joining is take the first step. You can work it through, even if there are things that you feel are not designed for you. You'll have access to the coach, and the coach will tell you what to do. So don't use any aspect of your lifestyle, because I have 3 kids, I have 3 dogs, I have a lot of things on my plate that have urgency and that need to be taken care of. And still, I was doing this for me. So I decided not to postpone it. And if you take your first step, even though you know it's going to be challenging, you can pull through.
Well, I have no kids and no dogs, and I thought it's challenging. So
For all of you out there in Thomas's conditions,
yeah.
it was a joyride.
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually, joking aside. I think it's for me at least. I don't know how you see this, and I think that you've been, as long as I've known you, you've been like the busy all the time. But I think for me, it's both, because when you have a lot on your plate like you do, um, it's um, it's tough, because you have to, like, oh, you have to fit it in, but it's also when you have more to do. I've known this from when I was working a lot on the tennis court and everything. You just grab something quick to eat, but I'm like working the whole day. I don't have time to think so much about it. But now I had some more time. I was working from home and I was doing, so I tried to go out for more walks and like do this. And it's, yeah, it's you would think maybe that is like a luxury problem to have all this time on your hands. But also that makes you like, you feel like, and you're home, you want to go, oh, I have all that. So for me, I had to spend some more money and buy like these, small bags of cashews or something. Because if I had like a huge bag of cashews, I was just gonna eat it, It's like, okay, that was 8,000 calories. It's like, that's not gonna work. So
That's the
you
entire
think that
week.
I'm 48 and I'll be like, yeah, I can just control myself, but no. So, and I know that. So what I did was, okay, this is one trip to the store every day that I have to walk like 2 kilometers, and that's good because then I get another walk, and then I won't overeat. So because it's so tempting, and so that's also the thing, right?
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, and for everyone to learn how you work. This is the framework, and you have your coach, but then it's for you, up to yourself, to find how you go about doing these things to get, to get things done. And hopefully, the people that have done this and I've spoken to afterwards, they've been like, yeah, they found a way during the 105, during these 105 days, how they do everything, and so then they can use the same kind of framework afterwards. So yeah, that was it for me. Do you have anything else to add? Otherwise, thank you so much.
It's great to see you, like always.
You too.